So tell me if you're really there. Don't make me fall in love again if you...
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, and for today's little upload for the day, I decided I was going to give you a little rundown on what my Pointe shoe journey has been. I think I may have mentioned it in the past. I vlogged last time I got my Pointe shoes and I did mention it, that I've had issues. And I don't know if this is going to be my last video on it. I might make a video like way in the future of more in depth of everything that happened. This is more of an overview. You're still getting a lot of the details that you would need. So I'm going to go ahead and get into this video. If you hear any noise, my rabbits are out of their cage and they decide they need to make noise 24/7. So if you hear anything in the background, it's them. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and get started into this video. Let's go. So I started Pointe like November 26th of 2016. It is currently 2018 in December, so I've been on Pointe for 2 years, a little over 2 years. So I think I'm now just kind of starting to know how to get a good start. I don't know, I've restarted Pointe, I feel like for me, like multiple times. So because I don't want people to really know where I live, I'm going to say Studio A and Studio B. I'm currently at Studio B, but when I started Pointe, I was at Studio A. So that's how we're going to keep it. So studio I was at is called Studio A. The studio I'm at right now is called Studio B, is what we're going to call it. Okay? Okay. So I was at Studio A. I only danced there for 1 year. And I was put into their Pointe class, and I started the class like in what was it, when did they start class? Like September-ish. I was in that class all the way into November. I was doing the pre-Pointe stuff, and that's like all I did. So I did all of that, and then she said I could get Pointe shoes, I think on the 21st, I think somewhere around there. So I had Pointe, and then she told me that she thinks I was ready for Pointe. I was really happy. So I go the next day before I have class, and I go get sized, and I have bigger feet, so it is not going to be as easy to find Pointe shoes for me. I tried a couple on, they didn't fit. She ordered me a pair offline, like 2 pairs that she thought would fit me. So I'm gonna show you those shoes. Okay, so these are what I ended up getting. These, I danced in these from November. I got new shoes in like January, February-ish. I only did half the bar for this class. For Pointe, I only did bar, that I did boys across the floor, and then she took my shoes off, which now looking back at it, I'm kind of like, why was I just on Pointe the whole class? But never mind. But yeah, these are the ones that ordered me, and they ended up fitting. These are Russian Pointes. I couldn't tell you what style they are, but these, I never got over my box in these shoes, and it was always a thing in Pointe. I wasn't ever over my box in my shoes. Well, I was like trying, because these are the only shoes I have issues getting over my box with. It was obviously the shoe, because my other shoes I get over my box. But yeah, so these are called, and I have them all marked in there because I have so many already, and these are the Russians, and these are my first pair. And I did one class of me doing across the floor and bar, and then by the next class these were dead. These were not very worn in at all for bar, and then I did those 2 and they automatically died on me. These are my disintegrated pairs, as I call them, because these are just so squishy, and like right here, they're like basically ballet shoes, like a little bit toughness, but yeah. And I put these on, and I tried really hard, and yeah. And another thing, I wasn't over my box, and another thing is I was kind of going like this in my shoes. So when I got new shoes, because my teacher from Studio A has a dance shop, and that is where I got fitted. So my teacher that I had Pointe class with fitted me, and but my teacher did not see me when I tried these on, but she did see me in class and said they were fine, because the person that works there fitted me had me try these on, and they said they thought they were fine. So yeah, so I go to class, I'm doing the class, and they die, and then she's like, oh well, my mom goes up to her, she's like, yo, these shoes are like so dead. And I mean, obviously look at them, they look destroyed. And she goes to my teacher, she's like, oh yeah, they're just dead, you just need new shoes. And mom was like, already? And she's like, yeah, it's just, she said I have such powerful, strong legs. And my video is dying. So, and then I got fitted by the teacher again, my same teacher. And I got these. These are Capezios. These are my second pair of Pointe shoes. And as you can see, the box on these is extremely short. There was no arch shank thing in these, I felt like half the time. So yeah, these are shoes. I really, really like these shoes on my feet because I did really, really good on Pointe with these shoes, but these shoes caused a lot of issues for me. I got them, the teacher said they looked great on my feet. She said these were my shoes and everything. So I did class, I was able to do everything, because on the Russians I couldn't. I was doing everything was fine. You know, everything was, how's my rabbit? Everything was doing great. I was doing everything. I danced in recital in these shoes, my first Pointe shoe recital. I danced in these, I took pictures in these, I did a whole lot of things in these Capezios. And then after Christmas, I started having some pain, and I got these before Christmas, but I had these during Christmas, the Russians. No, these aren't the Russians. I just showed you the wrong pair. These Russians, and I started having pain in my leg. It was like a muscle in my leg, and I kept on putting it off. I was like, oh, I'm just sore. So it ended up, I couldn't walk before recital. I couldn't do anything. I sat out the week before recital, or no, the 2 weeks before recital. I sat out the whole week. I went to the doctors. They were just like, we don't really know. You gotta go to an orthopedic doctor. Don't dance, don't do anything. But I had recital. I did recital in these shoes, and then I went to a physical therapist. Stuart, stop. So I went to a physical therapist, and because I went to another doctor, I forgot what it was called. Stuart, stop. Don't do it again. Okay, so I went to another doctor, I forgot what it was called, and then they referred me to a physical therapist. I did physical therapy, I was getting better, and then she decided she wanted me to do all my belly, like all my shoes, to make sure that, you know, everything was good shoes-wise, that they fit me well and nothing was wrong. Stuart, stop! I don't know why you have to do this right now. Stop. So I went to the physical therapist, and it was day for Pointe shoes, and I put them on, and she told me, don't you dare do anything, take them off right now. Keep in mind, my physical therapist was a dancer, and she did Pointe, so she knows what the rights and the wrongs. And she told me to take them off, and she told me that these shoes caused my injury because of how they were in my feet and how I was going up on them, but none of it was my fault, and that basically my teacher effed me over and did this to me. Stuart, I'm telling you right now, if you don't stop, you're gonna get your butt whooped. So yeah, and then I was like, oh my god. I didn't end up going back to that studio for multiple reasons. There's a whole bunch of stuff. I'm not even gonna get into that. And my physical therapist told me to go to Footlights, which shoes are those? You just have so many. So I went to Footlights, and then I got these shoes. These are blocks. I don't know what these are. European blocks is what I got. These shoes did me really good. I went to studio, I started going to dance at Studio B. I was doing really, really good. And then around Christmas time, I started having issues with rubbing. I mean, obviously you can tell that these were really, 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 really worn. But, and I was going to Studio B, and I was having Pointe class. I was doing pretty good until around Christmas, and then I started having rubbing issues on my pinky toe and I couldn't do anything, and I was having a lot of issues. So when it came to like us doing our Pointe dance for like Parent Week and for Christmas and stuff, I couldn't do the dance on Pointe because I couldn't do anything in these shoes because they were rubbing. I ended up going all the way into June with these shoes, and I got them in like September. So these are the only shoes I have for the whole year, which is a bad idea. You don't do that. And I sucked at my recital dance. I sucked. I couldn't do much because I had then learned from going to Footlights after to get new shoes that these shoes were dead in December. I only have Pointe class once a week, so every 4 months I'm supposed to get new shoes because the shoes they don't last that long. You know, sometimes they don't have to be really like dead where you can't dance for you to get new ones. So yeah, I did these. These did me well. If I would have gotten new shoes before, then these would have been, because I was doing really good, and then I was talking to my teacher about the rubbing thing, and it was a whole thing. I got it figured out. So yeah. And then I went to Footlights again, and I got these. These are block European as well, is what they say. Yeah, and these I got these at September, and they lasted me into like right now because I just got new Pointe shoes. So yeah, so I have new Pointe shoes for the December dance, and I did pretty good in these. Yeah, I did pretty good in these. These were pretty good. I mean, these not dead, but like the shank and stuff, they're just, I needed new shoes. Here's what they look like. And then last but not least, my current shoes right now that I just got are the exact same pair that I have that I just showed you. And these are, they're not even sewn yet. Fresh and new. I'm just showing you fresh and new. So yeah, I'm gonna start class on these. I will maybe give you an update on how I do here. So yeah, that's just a little overview of my Pointe shoes and why I have what I have. I don't want this to be a super long video, so yeah.